Hey guys, I'm just getting back from my walk. My face is defrosting. My ears feel red. My face feels numb. But while I was walking, I was thinking about 4 lessons that I've learned from living below my means. So thanks for coming. This is your weekly dose of frugal inspiration. Let's get right into it. So living below your means simply means whatever you earn, this is your spending, and you're spending less than you earn. That gives you the opportunity to save, invest, and really do something with your money, right? It's easier said than done, right? But the first thing I learned is that intentional spending equals intentional savings. This isn't gonna happen just willy-nilly. It's not gonna just happen if you don't put in the effort. So one of the things that I really wanted to do was take care of my debt so I could be debt-free. And another thing I wanted to do was take care of building that emergency fund, because in my mind, that emergency fund is priceless, right? You know, if you have an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses, like it just makes everything easier. So if that's what you want to be out of debt and you want to have a little nest egg, a little something there for you when anything happens, right? Especially right now, you have to be so intentional with every dollar that you spend. Do you really need it? Do you really love it? You know, I don't do any kind of spending that's just frivolous or impulse spending right now. I'm being very intentional because I want to have a little bit of wiggle room to do other things with my money, which again, this is all very strategic. Like we say about a lot of things, it's simple, but it's not easy. It's not easy. Kind of like, you know, when people talk about losing weight, right? For losing weight, if you operate in a calorie deficit, if this is what you're currently eating, right? This is what you're currently eating for food, and this is how much you're currently moving. Notice I'm using the same hand gestures that I do when I'm talking about budgeting, right? If this is what I'm eating and this is how much I move right now, if I don't eat as much, that probably means I'm going to lose some weight. And then if I increase the movement of what I'm currently doing, it's what I'm already doing, but I do this, there's the gap that's going to create that weight loss, right? So the same thing with your finances, right? If you make this and you spend this, if you start to just spend less, there's the gap that you need to save and to invest, hopefully, possibly. But if you start earning some more, you see where that margin really starts to grow, and that's where the magic happens, right? So intentional spending equals intentional savings, but it's got to be a plan. You got to have a plan for that. What's the plan? For me, a budget. You can't convince me otherwise. That's the only tool that I've consistently used that has helped me build my emergency fund, to pay off my car, to purchase a house, which yes, I still have the mortgage on, but I'm aggressively trying to pay it off sooner. But some people say to me, they find out I'm a single mom, and they're like, oh, you're so lucky you have your own house. Whoa, ho, ho. I am not lucky. I am not lucky. I'm consistent. Do you see the difference, right? It's not like this just happened. I just have a house. I just paid off my car somehow. Girl, I had to work a long time to get there, and I had to be very intentional and over time. That's another thing. People want it. They want it now. It's a long process, right? And people get really frustrated. And I also have a lot of people that say to me, how do you stay frugal for so long? It's kind of like a muscle you just get used to flexing. Like this is what I do now. I'm on autopilot. I don't even think about it that much anymore because it's just consistent action. Sorry, my cat has a box over there that she is playing with, and I'm not going to stop her fun, but that's why you keep hearing crackling. People often say to me, well, Kate, I don't want to wait that long. It's too hard. Listen, you got to choose your hard. I choose the hard on the front end so that hopefully I get where I need to go and then enjoy it later. you got to pick your hard. Do you want to overspend, create all this debt, and then be digging your way out of it, digging and digging? That's no fun for me. So you got to choose your hard. But my choice is to intentionally spend so I can intentionally save. Living below my means has helped me do that. Number 2, by living below my means, I've had increased financial freedom by cutting expenses, by earning more, taking on a side hustle, other jobs. And listen, I'm 46 now, and I am not who I was when I was in my 20s and my 30s as far as energy goes, as far as intentions go. I have an 11-year-old right now. I have, I'm in a different phase of life, and I don't want to work a million jobs forever, But because I worked really hard on the front end, it's starting to pay off. My investments are growing, and I'm starting to have more financial freedom. And again, this is something that takes time. It's not perfect yet, but it never will be perfect. But progress makes you feel good. It keeps you motivated. Seeing your investment accounts, your 401k, maybe your Roth IRA, those grow over time, or just having more in your savings, having that solid emergency fund, it makes it feel all worth it to me. And it's definitely less financially stressful over time by being consistent. Number 3 is minimalism is fulfilling. I have found over the last few years, especially, that less feels like more to me and the lifestyle that I want to live. As you know, I did a 12-week declutter of my entire home last year, and the freedom that came with that makes me want to live below my means even more, so that I'm not cluttering my house up with things that I don't need. Clutter makes my life more complicated. It makes me have decision fatigue, because when there's so much to look at, you just can't decide. There's just trying to pick between things and having things in my way. Again, remember that feeling when you go to a hotel room and that is just like, there's no extra stuff. It's just the stuff you need. I love that feeling. Maybe you don't. Maybe you want rooms full of books and knickknacks and pictures and all the things. I like a little, a minimal level of that. If you excuse me a second, I'm also cooking chicken at the same time. You guys, listen, I'm a single mom. I got to do a lot of things at once. I'll be right back. Speaking of chicken though, have you tried these yet? Purdue Simply Smart Lightly Breaded. They're so good, you guys. So I like to cook like a batch of this, at night, right? If anybody's interested, 15 grams of protein. And what I do is I cook these up, and then sometimes I'll make them with like mashed potatoes, stuffing, corn, vegetables, whatever. And then I'll cut some up and put it in a salad so I can bring that to lunch and have like a chicken salad. I do chicken with lettuce, a little cheese, a little dressing. Oh, so good and so easy. Again, if you're on the go, these are delicious. But before I got into the chicken talk, I was talking about minimalism, and I was thinking about how living below my means has helped me really be content with what I have, to take good care of what I have, really cherish what I have, instead of always being in a state of want and need. I need this, I want that, I just love what I have, and I'm so appreciative, and living below my means has helped teach me that for sure. And next is I can do hard things. And that means you can do hard things too. If budgeting is not coming easy to you, it's not a natural thing. Maybe it is for some. It was not natural for me. I don't think like a natural, it's just like, as natural as breathing. No, it is now, because I had to get into that habit. And getting into the habit of budgeting and watching your spending when you're not used to it can be very frustrating. And doing it for a long period of time I understand why it burns people out. They call it frugal fatigue. But do I experience it sometimes? Sure, of course, I'm human. But just because it's hard doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. And just because it's sometimes I don't want to. I don't want to. Sometimes I don't want to. I just want to spend. Do I want to budget my groceries sometimes? No. Sometimes do I feel like it? No. Do I want to just go shopping and just buy what I want sometimes? Yes. Please don't think I don't think like that sometimes. But the question is, am I going to? Probably not, because I know that the result of living below my means and having money and not stressing financially is way better for me than overspending, feeling guilty, and it not really bringing me the thing that I thought it would, you know? Like sometimes you're like, you think if you just go shopping, it's gonna heal something. It doesn't heal anything. It just causes more problems for me. So why do I want to make my life harder? You know, I can do hard things. It's going to be hard. Things are hard. But if you're struggling with budgeting and frugal fatigue, try it. Like if you're a person that's like, I don't even know how much I'm spending, try tracking your spending for 30 days. Just again, like, I'm sorry, I keep comparing it to weight loss, but a lot of times people are like, oh, I am eating in a calorie deficit, or I don't eat that much. And then you're like, oh, do a food journal and write down. And then they're like, oh, well, wait, I might have been a little off in my calculations, right? Same thing for regular budgeting. Like, I think people think like, oh, I don't spend that much. But when you actually write down what you're spending and you track it and you're accountable, it's a whole new ball game, right? So if you're having a hard time with it, give it a try. The worst case you can do is you track for 30 days and you're like, this isn't helpful. But I really don't know anyone that's ever told me they've tracked and they were just like, yeah, that didn't help. Like, it is super helpful. So I highly recommend that. I'm also really interested in those of you that have been living below your means, maybe for a long time, maybe for a short period of time. What have you learned from that experience? What is your takeaway from it? So that we can stay inspired in the comments, please share below so we can read through. And testimonials for frugal living, budgeting, saving money, reading other people's experiences encourages others for sure. I wouldn't have this community if it weren't for you guys and you sharing what's working for you, what's not, what struggles you have. So please share down below so we can all engage with you and talk more about it. If living below your means is one of your favorite topics, like it is for me, you need a little more inspiration, I'm gonna leave a video for you to watch right here next so we can continue this conversation. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.